Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I'm going to refit the engine. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell. Stay up to date with this build. That being said, let's get into it. Alright boys, so I don't know if it was the last episode or the one before that, I did mention that we are too out of roundness and size, is too large on the bore to be using that block with the pistons that I've got. Possum. So what I need to do is actually refit the engine in here so we can work on the turbo system while we go find another block. So I'm not going to be putting any of the internals in. I do have enough stuff here to do internals, but what's the point? So just going to be an empty case, empty heads. I'll put the valve covers on, and we'll mount it back in so we can start working on the turbo kit, because we're going to be having TDF5 in the stock location, and then I'm wanting the GT35 to sit over in this direction or area over here, so we can have a nice exhaust go down that way instead of it being here and nice and tight and touching on stuff. So obviously we're going to have to get the lovely new intake on there, and by putting this back in, you'll probably see some things that you might go, alright, well, yeah, it might make some power now. Also boys, by getting the empty engine back in there, I'll be able to run my wiring as well. We can fix all that up, and I've probably seen some fuel lines laying around. I'll have to redo them, so I'll be able to work out the routing for that. And power steering, I'll be able to do that as well, so it gives me something to do in between finding an engine and getting that fixed up, and possibly waiting for more parts to come in. So it's pretty late today, it's past 10:30, so I probably won't start today getting this back together. Yeah, well, I don't know if I use all the case bolts, all the head bolts. Probably should use all the head bolts or head studs, just to make sure that it's all even while it's in there. But you know, if you have 3, I guess be alright. I could check my little green crate back there with some parts in it. I might have some head bolts, so I don't have to use my head studs. But yeah, obviously when I get another engine, I'll obviously have the crank or the case bolts. And also guys, if you've been watching the last month or so, I did strip this one and that one broke, so and this I need to retap, so it's not a bad thing that I need to get another block. Plus we'll get some more accessories If I can find a double overhead cam, that would be good, because we'll have some better mounts for the front of the case. Because I think I might have a funny thread on one of the pulleys, one of the idler pulleys, I should say. But yeah, I have to have a look around for some double overhead cam EJ20s. So I was just going back through my videos when I actually got this block. It's out of a 2005 Impreza. I would like to obviously get a newer block, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It's more on the condition, not so much the year. But I think you can get a block from Jolly's, where I got my cam sensors from, for about $400. That's like a 2010. Still, that's an 12-year-old engine. It's not guaranteed that it's good, but anyway, as long as we don't have any scraping, which I guess I could check. I could take the heads off, have a look, or take a bore scope, put it down spark plugs. But I just unbolt the heads. I just have my DAC duct there. No battery on it. Actually, my impact. I don't see why not. I just lift the head off, inspect it, even take my dial bore and see if it's in spec. If it's not, chuck the head back on, put it back inside the car, and go to the next vehicle. Enough of that. Let's get this back together. Alright boys, just going through my little milk crate. Found some rods, NA rods, NA rods there, and then the turbo rods there, turbo pistons, they're all good. But yeah, I think we spun bearings on 2 of the turbo rods, which is these ones here. Found the head bolts and this one here. That one snapped off into my original block. So yeah, so we've got 11 head bolts. We won't need them all, so that's okay. They're a bit dirty. Give them a quick wipe down, and we'll get the block back together. We'll use these. Also, it's a bit easier getting them in and out instead of having studs on the block. Alright guys, so I decided, yeah, I'll start putting it back together. So yeah, the block sitting on top. Gonna send down some crank case bolts. It is recommended to do it this way, that side down, because you've got all the O-rings and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll put a few in here, a few in there, make sure it's all together properly. I won't put the sump back on. I actually do need a new sump. I did bend it, and I got that plug in the front of it. And if I do want to go like a better pickup, I'll most likely need the 2.5 litre sump, EJ25, or the custom. Alright boys, I ended up using all the main case bolts, but not the external ones. So yeah, obviously the new block will have all of them, and I'll just reuse them. Apparently if you get new ones like ARP that are your torque to a higher torque, that is actually what warps your main journals. So I don't want to do that, so yeah, I'll just use the stock ones. Alright guys, I've cleaned up 8 of the head bolts. I'm going to use 4 on each side. So we'll put the engine stand onto that. So then we can put the heads on, put the valve covers on, and then get it into the engine bay. Alright, I am going to chuck the old head gaskets on just to protect the heads. Yeah, I will be bolting the heads down, so I should give them a wipe. Hey, what guys, that felt weird putting that head on without having studs. It was easy. Anyway, let's bolt these down, flip it over, and put the other side on. And I'll get the valve covers out of the car, and we'll put them on with 4 screws or bolts as well. Alright, so the left hand side is done. So we've got a head gasket in there, and we've got the valve cover gasket in there as well. So we are at true size. It's pretty cool looking through there. Just an empty engine. Right, I'm going to rotate it around and do the other side. So yeah, no something going on, no need for that. I'll just have to bolt on the engine mounts, obviously. Alright, so I just bolted down the head with just 4 bolts, but look what I just noticed. Bit of rust from the valve guides. Was that from here, or did I not dry it off enough when I gave it a wash? I really should upgrade those valve guides. Tell you what guys, once you've got everything like laid out and organized, putting the engine back together doesn't seem that it takes that long. No, I don't have like the rotating assembly, the valve train or anything like that. But you know, if your head's already together, it's just the torquing that takes a while. Speaking of torquing, I should stop doing that and get back to it. Alright boys, engine mounts are on. Rotate this over and get it ready to get back in. Alright guys, I finally got the engine back in. There's a handful of bolts holding that in. Obviously it's resting on the cross member anyway. A few at the top and a couple on the sides, and obviously the studs at the bottom. So yeah, I'm not going to worry too much about covering up things because I'm not using this, and still got to put everything into the head, so I'll have another clean out anyway. But yeah, you can see where the power steering runs. Yeah, we'll get the up pipe through there and see how close it is. Well, yeah, not 100% sure on what up pipe I'm going to be using, but I'll have to use an external wastegate. Well, not really, I don't have to because TD5 has an internal, but yeah. Anyway, it's like 2:30 in the morning, so I'm gonna go have a shower and go to bed. Alright guys, it's the next day. It's in the Arvo. So what I'm gonna do next is actually get the exhaust manifold on and the up pipe. So this is my up pipe. I'm pretty sure I can attach another pipe on there for an external gate. So it's probably at this point that would be good, so you can see clearances for hoses and whatnot, instead of putting like the manifold on and stuff like that. I don't know where I put all my exhaust bolts. They're not with the turbo. They're not down here. Couldn't find them in the back. Anyway, I'm going to go edit my previous video and come back tomorrow and have a look for these bolts. So get the manifold bolted up, get the up pipe on, and I'll probably sit the TD5 in the location, and then I might call it, but we'll see. Alright boys, it's the next day. I need to find these exhaust bolts. I'm pretty sure they were the first ones I took off, so either they're over here somewhere, or they're in the bottom of the box. I'll come back when I found them. Alright boys, found my Phalonic spacers. They are Grimspeed, I think. It's got gaskets on both sides, so that bumps it up, I think 6 or 8 mil. So we have a bit more space under here, and we don't have that heat transfer from the head to the intake as much. I also found turbo bolts. So we should have enough nuts and bolts in there to do what we need to do today. Wow, I stuffed up big time. My power steering lines are in the way of the up pipe. See the 90 there? It's actually resting on it. It's not allowing it to go together. Great. Just great. Alright boys, got the up pipe on. It's loose down there though. I have to take this power steering line off to figure out another way to do that one, which is a bit frustrating. Might have enough room for a compact wastegate over this way. Yeah, maybe like a 30-degree bend for that one. I can probably use another 6A somewhere else. That's all good. Alright, I'm going to bolt the TD5 on. Alright, there is our first issue. This bolt is too big, too high. So if we can get a slimline one on there, should be okay. So that up pipe is all nice and tight. So actually I'll tighten up these. This might not work. I'll have to find a smaller bolt for there. Alright boys, the TD5 is bolted in. You have to work on the orientation of that. Maybe just up just a little bit, because we are hard up against this bracket. If we didn't have that bracket there, we'd be fine. I could just unbolt it and see how that goes. Yeah, it's not actually touching here, but the hose that will go into here will be touching it. Once we find a replacement, we can have it down at an angle, I guess. Yeah, I wonder how the TGV will fit on there. That'll be maybe next episode. Maybe next episode we're going to get another block. I'm not sure just yet. Have to wait and see. So guys, I'm going to leave that episode here. We've got the engine back in. We have the turbo on, and we're going to start figuring out our new system and how that's going to go for us. Can't wait to show you some of new pieces that'll be on this engine. So stay tuned for that, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Stay up to date with this crazy build. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next episode. Bye.